questions about what happened and what's going to happen next. Jacob Barker's been following this story, joins us live in studio tonight. Jacob, a virtual town hall tomorrow. What do people want to know?
Well, Chris, from what residents are telling me, there will be a lot to cover. There's the investigation into the explosion itself. There are still dozens of people who live in the safety zone that can't return. And there's the future of the town center itself. What's going to happen once things are cleaned up and the investigators are done? Will it be safe?
They want to know about insurance. They want to know timelines. They want to know about their essential services like the post office, their drugstore, their banking, that type of thing. So there'll be crisis center, that type of thing. Social services will be there. Our counselor will be there.
It would be nice if they would come out and actually say what the true problem is and not beat around the bush and give us a timeline. If it's going to be 9 months and I'm in the blast range, well, I don't want to live in a motel for 9 months.
Like other business owners, I want to be able to gain access to my property and find out what my damage is and where I go from there. So if that equipment is all wrecked, well then, okay. So I got to get the ball going on insurance, through the business insurance side of things, put in a claim now, not 30 days from now. I'll have to work out of my house for now. Empty out the equipment I need from my shop, but I can't operate my business without my equipment. It's not like we don't have any experts in the field of oil exploration or how to cap a well. I want to know why the province is dragging its feet and or the municipality. It's the first time I ever heard from the municipality in 3 months until the explosion. They knew about this. So if that's the case, then why don't we have someone who knows what they're doing yet? I mean, why are they making this so complicated?
That meeting tomorrow morning will be virtual and streamed on YouTube and Facebook. Representatives from the municipality will be taking part along with representatives from the Insurance Bureau of Canada and Chatham-Kent Legal Services. Jennifer Barton, Assistant Deputy Minister for the Ministry of Natural Resources, will also attend. Chris.
Hey, this is Jacob. CBC's Jacob Barker live tonight. We should add, we asked for an interview with the minister. We did not get a response. After watching cases rise for weeks and pleading with people in Windsor, Essex to follow public health measures, new restrictions are coming into effect as 87 new cases of COVID-19 are reported, with 5 people in the ICU.
The reality is this is still a pandemic.
The highest positivity rate in Ontario, the highest weekly case rate in the province, and vaccine coverage lower than the provincial number. New rules now, starting Tuesday.
The economy is at stake. The health and well-being of our community is at stake. So I truly hope that our businesses support these measures and continue to comply.
Zero tolerance for breaking public health guidelines at any workplace. Restaurants, bars, clubs, they gotta close at midnight. All employees must wear masks and eye protection. No dancing indoors, unless that's part of the job, and you can do it 2 meters away from everyone else.
Right now, we have 141 cases that are linked with the wedding ceremonies, and we need to take that in control.
So, as of September 20th, a married couple's first dance, the only dancing allowed at an indoor wedding under these new rules. 100 people maximum. That's for funerals as well. Masks at all times unless you're sitting down, and there must be a process in place to verify vaccinations for everyone attending.
But having a gathering of 200 or 250 people, that's a lot. So you are basically inviting trouble.
On Tuesday, a return to in-school learning when asked about the risk.
Delta is really bad in terms of transmission. It spreads very quickly, and if one person is bringing it inside their home, the entire family eventually gets sick. So yes, the risk is high, and having these measures in place will try to reduce the risk of spread in the schools.
Today, hospitals in Sarnia, Windsor, and Chatham-Kent updating vaccine policies, telling staff to get vaccinated or prepare to find a new job.
Yeah, if they don't get vaccinated, they will have a 2-week unpaid leave for them to hopefully reconsider If during that 2-week unpaid leave, they decide to start the vaccination campaign, they can come back to work and be subject to, swabbing until they get fully vaccinated. But if at the end of those 2 weeks, they still are not started the vaccination process, their employment will be terminated or their privileges as a member of our professional staff will be terminated.
Now, that policy was announced, but no date for a deadline yet. Now, we expect to hear more on that next week. I asked if it was put in place today, what would happen? About 300 staff members at Windsor Regional Hospital would be out of work. There's about 150 people at Hotel Dieu that have either not been vaccinated or have not disclosed their status. We asked Erie Shores Healthcare, but didn't get a response. Stores in the Windsor area that sell a deworming medicine for horses say they're getting requests to buy it to treat COVID-19. Health Canada has put out warnings that the medicine is not for humans. And as Dale Molnar reports, local health officials are also warning against its use.
Ivermectin is used to kill parasites. There's a form that humans can take to treat diseases like river blindness, but there is no evidence it has any effect on COVID-19. And in fact, the type used for horses can be dangerous. Inaccurate information about ivermectin has fueled demand across the country at stores that sell it. Local stores say they have been getting inquiries from people wanting it to cure COVID-19. Some are keeping it behind the counter and only selling it to people for livestock. Horse owner Mark Williams can't believe people would take the medicine.
I think it's ridiculous, personally, to be doing such a thing. So
he says they only give a tiny bit to horses, and even then it's hard on them.
Well, I know we work with the biggest, strongest, fastest athlete in the world, the racehorse, and even that 1,000-pound animal, you give them the wormer, and it can affect him, dump him up. The next day, he might not even eat. So it's pretty powerful stuff.
So far, Windsor Regional Hospital has not had to treat anyone who has taken the medication.
Unfortunately, what you hear about a lot in social media are other home remedies or other drugs like ivermectin, which is the one that people are rushing out to get, and unfortunately taking it in inappropriate doses and in inappropriate formulations because they're not meant for humans, and we're finding that they're getting sick from it.
That says there are only 3 drugs they administer at the hospital.
I'll be clear from the outset, there is no cure for COVID. The therapies that we have depend on how sick you are. If you're on the floor, there's a drug called remdesivir that we give you that can sometimes hasten your recovery and make the symptoms a little bit less severe. If you are in the ICU and you're on a ventilator, there's another drug called tocilizumab and dexamethasone, a steroid that we use.
Health officials say the best defense against COVID-19 and the Delta variant is to get vaccinated. Dale Molnar, CBC News, Essex.
Frontline healthcare workers are sounding the alarm, saying that they're being bullied and harassed by anti-vaccine protests. Both the Canadian Medical Association and Ontario Medical Association issued a statement condemning this. A local doctor says it's not prevalent in Windsor, but it is popping up throughout the province.
But at the very least, it's disappointing, and at the very most, it's heartbreaking. I mean, I'm seeing patients get sick. And I'm seeing patients die from this. I do a lot of long-term care in Windsor, and we see the effects of coronavirus on people, on the elderly especially. And as you can see with the Delta variant, it's not sparing the younger population as well. So when you talk about getting vaccines, you're talking about protecting the children who cannot get vaccinated at this time as well. We have the science to help people now, and that's my life. My life is helping my patients with their lives and with their health.
The latest COVID-19 modeling suggests Canada is on track to see up to 15,000 cases a day by next month end. Chief Public Health Officer Dr. Teresa Tam says more people getting their vaccine shots could help lower that worrying trend.
Vaccination is proving to be highly protective against severe illness. In recent weeks, from July the 18th to August the 14th, the average weekly rate of new cases in the unvaccinated was 12 times higher than in the fully vaccinated, while the rate of hospitalized cases was 36 times higher in unvaccinated compared to fully vaccinated.
Now, pointing to the resurgence driven by the Delta variant, Tam urged more 18 to 39-year-olds to get vaccinated to protect the vulnerable. Only 2/3 of Canada's population is fully vaccinated. That means about 12.5 million people are either not yet vaccinated, have had only one dose, or they're too young to get it. Based on Canada's rollout data, on average, a 2-dose vaccine was 92% effective at preventing infection. The Premier is calling for a timeout of sorts. Doug Ford has prorogued the legislature until after the federal election. That means MPPs who've been away since early June will get an extended summer break. They're not happy about it. They were originally due back September 13th. Now they won't be back at Queen's Park until October 4th. Ford says it's a necessary move in an uncertain time. All three opposition parties, they were quick to react.
At this point in time, when all of these things need to be addressed, when we need to have leadership the most, Doug Ford is nowhere to be found and has now said his government is not going to be anywhere to find either.
As for the Ford government saying it's waiting to see what impact the federal election has on Ontario, Horwath called that ridiculous and dishonest. Liberal leader Stephen Del Duca issuing a statement saying, quote, Ontario is in a fourth wave with cases rising every day. And Doug Ford just announced he will shut down the legislature until October so that he can continue to avoid responsibility. Everyone knows that Doug Ford has been hiding for the past 2 months. He needs to go back to work now. The Green Party leader Mike Schreiner saying Doug Ford's decision to prorogue the legislature is irresponsible. Right now, Ontarians need leadership. Instead, they're stuck with a premier that is running from accountability and responsibility. Refugees from Afghanistan have come to Windsor. The Multicultural Council says about half a dozen arrived in Toronto. They had to quarantine there. Currently, there's one family here, another on the way, more potentially arriving later.
It's a very delicate process. You're dealing with a culture shock. You're dealing with a very intense situation, leaving a war-torn country and really coming to a country that you may not have ever been before or seen before, and dealing with an entirely different culture. So I think the first thing people could do is be welcoming, be understanding, and thankfully in Windsor, Essex, we already have that. People are like that anyway. So, that's not a huge ask because people are naturally like that in our community, and that's a good thing to be. That's something we should be proud of. As of right now, the government is providing all the resources these families need to resettle in different parts of the country. But if anything changes, if needs increase, or if we see a need, we will certainly put out a notice to the public for further assistance.
And with the federal election less than 3 weeks away now, party leaders are ratcheting up the campaign rhetoric on a number of issues. And that includes gun control. CBC's David Cochran has more.
We will maintain the ban on assault weapons.
That statement is true, at least as it applies to fully automatic weapons, which have been banned in Canada since 1977. Where there's disagreement is over a vast list of semi-automatic weapons, which the Liberals banned last year and which O'Toole immediately promised to reverse.
To essentially declare tens of thousands of Canadians to be non-law-abiding by suggesting that their firearms, their semi-automatic firearms, are somehow some big risk. Trudeau and Bill Blair shamelessly lied to Canadians.
O'Toole promised to reverse that ban while seeking the Conservative leadership and courting support from the gun lobby. It's a wedge issue the Liberals are keen to debate, helpfully directing voters to the page number in O'Toole's platform.
He says very clearly on page 90 of his platform that he will reverse the May 2020 order in council by this government, the one that bans military-style assault weapons in this country.
That includes guns like the AR-15, which has been used in numerous mass shootings in the past decade, the M14, which was used in a Moncton shooting that killed 3 RCMP officers in 2014, and the Beretta Storm, used in a mass shooting at Dawson College in Montreal in 2006.
He will reverse our move to make it illegal to buy, sell, or use assault weapons in this country.
We will make sure that we work with police and we work to make sure that there's a transparent process to keep people safe and to make sure that we tackle rising gun violence.
To do that, O'Toole says the focus should be on criminals, gangs, and illegal guns smuggled in from the U.S. Trudeau simply wants voters to focus on guns as an issue as this election enters its final weeks. David Cochran, CBC News, Ottawa.
A local group is showcasing the beauty of butterflies. The downtown core mural has been painted to show support for the monarch population.
So it's helping to support the monarchs because, they haven't been doing so well as the years go on. So this is just something that we felt, be important to highlight that. And so these murals are a great way to, make the alleyways more beautiful and then also bring more attention to the plight of the monarchs and what people can do about it.
Each artist was able to select an element from the way stations they wanted, and in their own style, obviously with mock-ups and planning, we executed it. And it was very easy to do.
Well, to actually do this mural project, we organized a GoFundMe, so we had a lot of generous donors that contributed to it. So when we raised enough money, we hired some community artists to come out, graffiti artists, and so to actually see the mural go up was just so exciting.
So we got really good feedback. Everybody was very happy and very receptive to what it was here, and I think everybody got educated on this whole project. I don't know. I mean, it's in Essex County where we have a huge population of monarchs that like to fly in and out, and everybody with a kid, get them a caterpillar at the end of the summer. Watch it. Every year we are releasing monarchs. So for me, it was like if these people want to do this project, I already love all bugs, insects, plants. So I'm down for this. Anything is good. Any injection of color and art on a wall that just looked awful to begin with, I'm going to support that.
Now, sticking with that art, a singer-songwriter with ties to Windsor wrote a song about the city, Riverside Rose, about a local love story.
I wrote that song as kind of a tribute to my mother and father-in-law. And we lost my father-in-law several years back to cancer. And I met a lot of interesting characters in the lineup at his visitation. And I wanted to take kind of a snapshot of what it must have been like to be part of that kind of 1960s, 1970s era in Windsor.
Take a live look outside at a staple, the iconic Ambassador Bridge. It's a little cool this morning, a little warmer this evening. Nick Circovich to tell us if it's going to be a little rainy on Sunday. That's next. Now joining us for a live look at the long weekend forecast is Nick Cirkovich. Nick, I had the website open to book a campsite because you've been talking about rain, man. How serious are you about that?
All right, Chris, what do you see behind me? What do you call this?
That's beauty. That's just a little fog, right?
Yeah, a little fog or a little bit of rain there. I call it a long weekend forecast. You can't have a long weekend without some rainfall, but it's really going to depend on the time frame that you're looking at. We're not looking at a whole washout event here, but this system, of course, this on the heels of a sunny week, is headed our way for the weekend. It's got some rain in it, of course, so here's what we can expect to see. Now, moving through tonight, this portion of it is sort of dissipating, but still the chance we're going to see some spotty showers in southwestern Ontario tonight. This is just very light stuff if we see any of it at all. Heading into tomorrow afternoon, though, it does approach the Windsor area. So what we're looking at in terms of timing is, for the most part, it'll stay dry tomorrow. Still the risk of a few isolated showers. But then tomorrow evening through the overnight, this thing slides through. By Sunday morning, it looks like most of it clears out. Now, the models are a little bit undecided on the timing exactly, but generally speaking, it looks like it kind of clears out for Sunday morning. And then as we head through Sunday afternoon, again, the risk for isolated showers. So not a big rainfall event, but locally, we could see some showers rolling through. And that's the thing that I have to stress here, is that the big picture, no major rainfall moving through. But on the smaller scale, if you happen to be at Chris's campsite, you'll probably get rained on, because that's usually how it works. Now, Sunday night into Monday, again, we've got rainfall, but mostly an overnight event. And then Monday, lingering showers in behind it as well. So bit of a mixed bag is how I'd put it there, but it seems like a lot of the rain is going to come through the overnight. It's 22 degrees right now as we head through the overnight period tonight. We're looking at cloud cover. The risk for a few spotty showers, 14 degrees down in Windsor. Tomorrow, 26. Again, isolated showers, but more of sort of an evening event. So breaking down the forecast there, it looks like a lot of rain Sunday and Monday, but most of it coming, I think, through the overnights. And then Tuesday and Wednesday, sort of Tuesday night into Wednesday, more in the way of rain showers.
So it sounds like people are going to want to avoid the greater Wheatley area as I head towards that provincial park then. Is that the idea?
Yes, exactly.
Ain't that it, Nick? Enjoy your weekend, man.
All right, you too.
Up next, we take ourselves to Tokyo for a check-in on the Paralympic Games. Canada continues to add to its medal haul at the Paralympic Games in Tokyo. Swimmer Danielle Doris, a standout in the pool today, winning a gold medal in the 50-meter butterfly in record time. CBC's Devin Arrow has more on Team Canada's performance.
2 more medals for Canada at the Paralympics, a dramatic day of competition. Let's start at National Stadium, where Canada's Marissa Papakonstantinou was running in the 100-meter. These are her second games. She's overcome injuries, so badly has wanted to get to the podium, and now she can step on it. What a race in the 100-meter, a personal best time of 13:07. And when she finally saw her time and that bronze medal up on the scoreboard, she was overwhelmed with emotion. Now over to the Tokyo Aquatic Center, where Danielle Doris of Moncton, New Brunswick, not only did she set a world record earlier today, she broke her own world record here tonight. 32.99. She blasted off the blocks, led from start to finish, and now she's a Paralympic champion in her second games. She has a silver and a gold. No doubt they'll be celebrating in New Brunswick today. Just 2 days left of competition. Right here, Canada losing a semi-final battle in women's sitting volleyball to China, but it means they'll compete for a bronze medal Saturday against Brazil. It could be the first medal at the Paralympics for the program. Down the stretch we go, extensive coverage the rest of the way. Devin Haru for CBC Sports in Tokyo.
A kayaker in Argentina had a close encounter of a lifetime with marine giant. Take a look at that. An inquisitive southern right whale swimming gracefully around a kayak. The paddler sitting calm, soaking it all in. Now, she'd have to hop in the water to get any closer. You can see the curious mammal just circling the watercraft, giving it a gentle nudge with flipper, barely a ripple there. Now, these whales, they inhabit oceans south of the equator. They're known for their playfulness. They grow up to 16 meters in length and weigh about 40 tons. Quite the tale there. That's it for CBC Windsor News. Don't forget, for news anytime, you can go to our website, cbc.ca/Windsor. We're on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. A lovely day for a bike ride, heading into a long weekend that I hope is fantastic for everyone, including those deciding to camp, despite what Nick has said. Thanks for watching.